PlayStation games released in Japan during the console's lifespan definitely have some unique quirks and obscure elements that you definitely would not see in the mainstream, especially in Western audiences. A lot of the games that were developed were mainly placed or based off of popular TV or cartoon, even magazine characters that were popular within the region, and in most cases it was inevitable that most of these ideas and characters were eventually going to get their own video game franchise in some shape or form. So Kyoro-chan, even though I know the game's name is a lot longer, but it's just too much, I don't want to butcher it, so it's better if I don't say it at all. This game gives you access to the role of a cutesy bird-like character that would have been seen in popular cartoons within the region. So the game acts like a platformer, very similar to likes of Super Mario Brothers and other types of side-scrolling action platformer games, but has its own unique quirks and twists. This game also does give you access to a variety of different modes and options, and it has a lot of mini games that you can also get involved with as well to kind of change up the whole dynamic of the play. One of the things that's apparent right away with this game is its unique visual style, as the graphics in the game is played from a 2D perspective, but the graphics and the textures used are very good. They look really well and completely suit the game's aesthetic and really captures the vibe of the cartoon character in all its glory. There's definitely enough here to keep you playing for quite some time. But with regards to the different modes, with the mini games, yes, you can also unlock more features as you play through the game, but you also have access to a campaign mode where you have to go through a multitude of different levels where you have to defeat enemies, solve puzzles, interact with your environments, all with the aim of like rescuing your friends and just to get to the end point. You will also have some bosses and other characters that you will have to defeat in order to progress. Even the level of detail on the adventure mode as well is quite decent for what it does represent, with you having access to scrolling backgrounds as well, so everything's moving in the background while you're doing your thing at ground level. And the game itself does seem simplistic in what it's trying to do, but don't let it fool you, this is one tough game, as there's certain parts in the game where you have to complete various puzzles, even as simple as trying to climb a ledge or trying to figure out how to get over a high ledge that you normally can't get to with a jump, so you have to find another means in order to get around that obstacle, and it's not always obvious or apparent at first. You have to figure out a way to get around it, so that will take a bit of time to figure out how to do so. So there's a lot of quirks and tricks in the game where you have to be mindful of your surroundings and you have to look for secrets within the levels in order to help you progress. There's just a lot of tactful ideas in this that will definitely give you a challenge, that while many elements do play similarly to your mainstream platformer games, but there definitely is a lot more in it that will test your patience, that are different, that you wouldn't often see in other games. But it's the game's unique visual style that really stands out more above anything else, as it's very reflective of the cartoon character, but it's different from what else is out there on the PlayStation. There's not too many games out there that you can see that looks even anywhere close to this, to be totally honest. So you can defeat enemies by jumping on them, or you can hit them with your beak, and you will need to do that again to overcome the many obstacles that the game throws at you. Plus you have to contend with other enemies in different areas too that will either try to squash you or try to find any way or use any way possible at all to try and defeat you, so you have to always be mindful of everything that's going on around you. You'll defeat one enemy only to be faced with another that's equally as annoying in order to defeat, and sometimes all you want to do is just get to the end of the level. But there's very little information surrounding this game online. Yes, there's loads of articles that you can find, but if you try to go in depth with trying to find any sort of real detailed information, there's very little out there, as with a lot of games released in Japan. Fellow Irish PlayStation enthusiast Sean Johnson covered this on a previous video, and he actually explains it best. If anything, he explains the game in a lot more detail than I'm able to do, and he looks at the game in a very unique way, and he's able to discuss the highs and low points, even the funny bits that the game has to offer, as he definitely put a lot more time into it to understand it, and he probably has the best depiction of this game that you can probably find anywhere online. So I'll leave a link down to his video in the description so that you can go and check it out. But it is definitely something quirky, it's unique, it's very different from what else is out there, and if you're into these obscure type of games, there's no harm in having a look at this one, as Japan has an insane amount of these type of games that are out there. There's an abundance of them on the PlayStation, so you'll have no problem being able to find them and enjoy them for what they do represent. But I would love to know your thoughts of this game if you have played it yourself, and if so, what do you think of it overall? Do you enjoy these these obscure quirky games, or did you even know that this one existed? So be sure to share it down in the comments below. And if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel and hit that bell to be updated with future content. And if you would like to see more videos around other obscure and quirky games such as this that were also released on the PlayStation, especially from Japan, then you can check out the playlist on screen to see more of those games in action. And as always, keep those gaming memories alive.